Crusaders got the better of that particular game, but this is a different day, and now Central Penn is attempting to get out of their own end as the Crusaders control the ball and are knocking the ball around, just getting a feel for the pitch. When you start a soccer game, one of the things you have to do is just find your rhythm as a soccer team, and Christendom is starting to do that, and it's just getting used to the width of the field, the length of the field. This particular field, I would say, is in the neighborhood of about 110 by maybe 70, and the maximum would be 120 by 80, so it's not a huge field. It's certainly not quite the quality of the field they have down at Christendom University down in Virginia. They've got a field that's elevated and more or less as smooth as a pool table, so it's a top flight place to play soccer, but this is a good pitch too. So here come the Crusaders again with control of the ball in the central midfield. Their captain, number 9, James Folkler, he's controlling the ball in the center of the field and seems to be leading the work rate, and he'll battle it out with a number of the different Central Penn players. Here comes number 16 with a real nice feed into number 13. And he zings a ball across the area, and the Crusaders just continue to possess the ball. Christendom has traditionally been a very strong program. I know they're in the top 10 in the nation right now, and they are perennially. So this is a very good program with a rich history. They play very, very good football, non-scholarship, and you wouldn't know it. I mean, they get tremendous talent, and they coach them well, and it's a good program. I know Central Penn has never beaten Christendom, and we'd love to have this be the first time. So here's Christendom in the area, knocking the ball around. So Christendom's number 20 put the ball into the area, and this is just one dangerous situation after another for Central Penn. They're going to have to do something about this, or this game could get a little crazy early in the match. So let's look for Central Penn. Let's look for Central Penn to tighten up their defense and start assuming a more offensive posture and taking the ball up the field. Unfortunately, there's a foul, and we'll be going the other way. So Christendom ball to be put in play from right around midfield. Long ball played into the area, cleared by Vargas. And here comes Christendom again, number 11. Knocks the ball into the area to number 13. And here comes Central Penn the other way. Number 6, Trenton Bradley, a central defender for Coach Wise's Central Penn Knights, has just been an incredibly rock-solid defender all year, and he continues to play that way now. I mean, frankly, he's already the reason why the Crusaders haven't been able to get a quality opportunity yet. So Central Penn is able to play a ball into the area. They're trying to get the ball to Jordan Heil, but that pass did not connect, and here comes Christendom the other way. There's Caleb Solis in the midfield, number 11, a recruit this year, freshman coming out of the Louisiana area. He came with Coach Wise. He was recruited by Coach Wise and stuck with him, and Coach Wise ended up here, so did Caleb. Not the tallest player on the pitch, but a rock-solid ball handler, excellent skills. Boy, there's some great soccer by number 16 for Christendom. Number 16 is Michael Uranker, and he just dribbled 5 people to put the ball in the area, but unfortunately it didn't connect for Christendom. So here comes Central Penn the other way, and they dump a ball in deep, but there's nobody to run onto it. So Central Penn plays more or less what you would call the Tottenham system. They play a similar system to Tottenham Spurs in the Premiership. And having said that, that means that they play with a single forward, and that single forward right now is Jordan Heil. And Heil is more of a target forward than a speed forward, so he's not a guy you could knock into space. So the balls they're going to have to play to him up front are going to have to be possession balls to his feet that he can lay off. Here comes Christendom the other way, and their captain, number 9, fights his way into the area, but the defense is excellent on that play. Nate Jean-Philippe just did a terrific job of out-hustling the Christendom captain into the area. Christendom showing patience as they build up their play. There's a win for the Knights, and the Knights are coming the other way. But that shot, you're not going to make shots from 45 meters. So needless to say, that did not pan out the way it was planned. And Christendom comes the other way. Central Penn very flat in the back, 4 across, and they're not playing with any sort of sagging center, so they will be susceptible to a through ball on the ground, and I think Christendom sees that because they ran 3 offensive players right up to that flat defense, and that sure does make it easy to stay on side. And unless Central Penn starts getting into a trap with that flat 4 in the back, I would look for Christendom to continue to play through balls on the ground to their folks up front. Christendom with a free kick out of the back. Again, they knock a ball forward. Number 21, Derek Pine, controls on the right side for Central Penn. He gets a ball knocked forward to him on the right sideline, and that's cleared out quickly by Christendom's number 24. Pardon me, that's number 20. Throw in for Central Penn creates a dangerous situation for Christendom as Jordan Howell runs onto a ball and collides a bit with the keeper, but all is fair, and Christendom's able to clear that ball. And now the Knights have the ball at midfield. Tucker Bolton playing another solid game in the midfield. Actually, he's, I think, more or less a central defender, but he is pushing up almost like a stopper. Here's Pine right near the area, and there's Vargas with a good solid shot, and the ball is saved by the Christendom goalkeeper on the right side of his goal. Central Penn's moving left to right as we see the field, and Christendom right to left. Central Penn starting to pick it up now and starting to play some competitive soccer with Christendom, so we're starting to see sort of a change here in terms of the momentum, and we'll see what Central Penn can do with this change. Sofian playing way in the back, dropped back into the left side defense and knocks a ball way up front. And Pine has run onto it, but nothing developing there. Christendom takes over in the back with more men, and they bring the ball out. They tend to run everything, almost like an electric junction box. This James Folkler, number 9, in the center of their field with the headband, he's their captain, and you can see why. They tend to run all of their passing through him. So if you could picture a junction box, an electrical junction box, that's pretty much what they are. They just continue to pass the ball through him. It goes to Folkler, and then it goes where it needs to go from there. And that's just their system of play, and he's a solid player, so he can do it. So Christendom with a throw-in from the left side right into Folkler, and here he is controlling the ball out of the back, and he's now down to the 18, dribbles through 4 players, and finally Bolton's able to take it away and clear it out to Pine. Unfortunately, when Central Penn attempts to clear the ball within 2 passes, there's usually a Christendom player there to take it away. Well, there's a dangerous ball right into the middle of the area. Ted Kreitz is able to negate that attack. La Rochelle was the target player there, and he just didn't quite get his foot on it clean, or he might have had an opportunity because he was at about 11 meters. Throw in left side for Christendom. Questionable. Number 13 with a high cross goes right over Folkler's head. Here's a shot from number 5 right at the top of the area. Timothy Kloss was able to hit that ball with his left foot, but it was high. I'm going to guess he may be a right-footed player taking a left-footed shot, and that often doesn't end well. Not that many players can finish a soccer shot with either foot. That is a rare skilled player. So it's a goal kick for Max Thorpe coming out of the Central Penn back. Max is a really great story this year. Central Penn lost their goalkeeper about a minute into the very first game of the year. He suffered a very severe injury, had to have surgery. And Max, who until last year had never played soccer and had never stepped in a goal, jumped into the goalkeeper's role, and there's an offsides call against Christendom, so Central Penn will have an indirect kick coming about 30 meters off the end. And so Max comes off of defense. He's learning to play the game of soccer in the field, and now all of a sudden he's a goalkeeper, and he's just been rock solid all year. Max has done a great job, and you could just see him getting better at his trade every week, which is a tribute to Coach Wise. Obviously, he has taught him and mentored him how to play that position, and honestly, I'm not sure if Coach Wise was ever a goalkeeper, but he certainly has turned Max into a really fine goalkeeper, and he's had a rock solid season for Central Penn. So a misplayed ball by Folkler, and Central Penn will have it. Thorpe with the ball right around his 18, ready to punt the ball. Now, Thorpe was a punter for his high school football team, and he may not be a goalkeeper, but he can punt a soccer ball about 60, 65 yards. He can really hit a ball. So that's a good weapon for Central Penn in terms of their transition. Here's Jean-Philippe back on defense. And he clears it, but he clears it for a corner, unfortunately. So what you're looking for from a defender in that situation is to clear the ball off the sideline so it's a throw-in. He mistakenly hit it off the end line, so that gives Christendom a corner kick, which is a much more dangerous situation. They play it short to Folkler, and he handles it to the end line, kicks it off of Bolton, and there's a corner. So another corner for Christendom, and another situation for Central Penn. Interesting play. Christendom played their corner kick short again, meaning rather than kicking in front of the goal, they dribbled it in with two players, and a player tried to chip Max Thorpe, and that didn't work well. Landed on top of the goal, and Thorpe will take his goal kick from the 6. Here's Bolton out of the back, over to Derek Miller. Derek Miller playing left back for Central Penn in their system. And a left back in the Tottenham system is the same thing as a left mid. They are expected to get down the field, and they're expected to get back on defense. So they're the runners, much like wing players in traditional soccer. And that necessitates the most fit players play in those positions, and that would be Derek Miller on the left side and Jean-Philippe on the right, and they're both tremendous athletes with great speed and endurance, so that's a perfect fit for them. Good ball from Ted Kreitz to Kyle Vargas coming out of the back. Unfortunately, that ball is lost, and here comes Christendom the other way. Foul on Bolton in the midfield. Christendom with the free kick coming out. Here's number 16, probably the biggest player on the field. He lobs a ball into the area. Number 13 has his chance, plays the ball across the mouth of the goal, and Thorpe does an excellent job diving on that ball and making the stop for Central Penn. Had that gone by him, that would have been trouble. Christendom coming at, or Central Penn coming out of their back. Here's Pine with a long throw down the right-hand side. Boy, he's a weapon. That's quite a long throw. And he gets the ball to Sofia, who takes a long shot, and I mean a long shot, another one. Sofia he took a very long shot on the right-hand side, and I'll tell you what, he has a leg. You have to respect it, but that was awful long to expect any kind of result. So Christendom's number 17, Santiago Pardo Gasque, he's the goalkeeper, and he made the save and now has delivered the ball out to midfield, and it's won by Central Penn. Interesting. It almost appears like Sofion's playing on the left side today. Seems to be kind of a left mid, which I don't understand because the Tottenham system doesn't call for a wide mid. It calls for 3 central midfielders, so I'm not exactly sure what he's doing other than maybe he thinks he has a matchup over there. He leads the Central Penn Knights in scoring, so you certainly figure if he sees a situation he can take advantage of, he will. Here's Pine trying to create for Central Penn. He plays the ball to Heil. Heil returns it to Pine, and the ball is taken away by Christendom. Their number 16, Michael Uranker, that very large player, he transitioned the ball the whole way to the front. Immediately, there's a left-footed shot by Christendom, hit extremely hard by number 8, and that's Nick Carey. Sorry, that's Hicks, Brian Hicks. Hicks with a tremendously powerful left-footed shot, but Max Thorpe was able to stop it or slow it down with one hand and then make the save. Great job by Max Thorpe today. You just can't say enough good things about what Max has accomplished this year, but given the athlete he is, I guess it makes sense. He's a real stalwart on the Central Penn baseball team as well. Tremendous baseball player. Comes out of Michigan. Good family up there too. So Derek Miller knocks the ball up to Sofian in the front. He plays it to Kyle Vargas in the center of the field, but Christendom's able to thwart that attack. And here comes number 13, and that's Vanderwood out of the back. He turns the ball over to Central Penn. It's back to Vargas. Here's Caleb Solis in the middle of the field. Solis up to Vargas, but it just seems like in the middle of that field, it seems like Christendom always has one extra man. And that's just how formations match up in soccer. You have what's called systems of play, and Central Penn is in that Tottenham system, which is kind of a 4-5 coming up out of the back, and Christendom appears to be in more of a traditional 4-4-2. So you're going to have numerical mismatches in certain areas when your two systems of play aren't identical, and that's what you look for in choosing your system of play. Opportunity. So here comes number 16, Uranker again. Just a real dangerous player. You rarely see a player that's 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" in stature that has real foot skills, that can really dribble a ball through a crowd, and this young man is both. And that is a powerful weapon because he has the size to fight through fouls and defense. Oh, hard shot. Uranker played a ball across the area, and it ended up on the foot of number 11, Nicholas Folkler for Christendom, and he had a cannon of a shot that was blocked by Central Penn. Whoever blocked that still feels it, I'll guarantee it. 40 back to number 20. Christendom tries to reverse field on the pitch, and the ball is intercepted, and here comes Central Penn. Sofian taking the ball by himself deep into the far end, and he's able to knock it off the keeper and get a corner kick for Central Penn. So here's a dangerous situation. He's going to have to give them a little bit of time to get into the area. But here comes Central Penn. Now if they put some bodies in this area, they should be able to create an opportunity here. When you're getting outplayed a little bit on the possession of the ball, this is your real opportunity. And boy, there it was. Derek Miller blasted a beautiful ball through the area, and it went right through the hands of the Christendom goalkeeper. That's number 17, Gasquet, and sure enough, it went right through his hands, but unfortunately it went wide right of the goal and ended up being another corner kick for Central Penn. So here's Pine taking that kick, and Sofian is right on top of it and didn't get a clean head on it. Boy, he had his chance there. If he could have headed that down, he would have had a real chance to score a goal there. He was at about 10 meters, and that's doable with a header. In soccer, the rule of thumb is if you're on defense, you head the ball up, and if you're on offense trying to score, you head the ball down. And he tried to do that. He just didn't quite get it clean off of his head. Dangerous play for Christendom coming the other way as their captain, Folkler, gets a chance at a header again at about 10 meters at the opposite end of the field, just left of center, and he mishit that header and didn't get it on goal. As a matter of fact, he did the opposite of what I said. He headed up, and you don't head up to score, you head down. And it didn't end well. So it's a 0-0 game, no score here at Adams-Ricci Park. It's a beautiful day, must be about 60 degrees, just warm enough to not freeze the announcers, and just cold enough, they're cool enough that the soccer players are very comfortable and have a lot less chance of any kind of dehydration or anything like that. A dangerous ball played out of the midfield by number 8 for, that's Brian Hicks for Christendom, but the ball was knocked away by Kyle Vargas. Great job by Kyle. Christendom ball coming right to left as we see it on the field. There was a handball, but it wasn't called. Christendom. There's a goal for Christendom. Interesting what happened there. The Central Penn defense just got mixed up, and a little confusion ensued, and number 8, Brian Hicks for Christendom, basically just dribbled through 2 people and knocked the ball past the goalkeeper. There was a failure to communicate there, and there was a failure to execute defensively. And honestly, that's just the end result of what happens when you are outpossessed. When the other team has the ball more than you do, sooner or later they're going to get their chance, and that was a true quality opportunity. And Central Penn won't quit. They'll just come back and they'll keep fighting. There's the captain in the midfield, Kyle Vargas. Wonderful young man and player, great athlete, great soccer player, and even a better quality young man. He gets a ball down the right-hand side to Pine, and shoulder-to-shoulder contact. A lot of fans probably wanted a foul on that call, but when 2 players come together shoulder-to-shoulder and their arms are down and one goes flying, that is not a foul. That is just contact, and as long as the arms don't go up, that's the way it is. And young Mr. Pine would like a call on that one, but I didn't see it. I didn't think it was there. So it's a corner kick for Pine off the right-hand side. Central Penn left to right. He plays it pretty high, and there's Caleb Solis taking a touch, but unfortunately his touch was a little strong, and he wasn't quite able to get to it. And here comes Christendom right to left. Folkler knocks a ball out wide right to his teammate, and now it's being dribbled into the area. And Christendom still with the ball right inside the 18, and here's big number 13 down the left-hand side, hard left-footed shot. Great save by Max Thorpe. Number 13, Vanderwood, just hammered that shot. He was point blank on Max Thorpe, no defensive help, and Max was able to make another great reflex save. I tell you, that's when Max is best, when he just uses his instincts and makes saves. So here comes Sofia into the area with the ball, and as usual, with 2 defenders all over him, he's able to get a quality shot off. It ended up being a goal kick, unfortunately. Didn't hit a defender, so it's Christendom ball with a goal kick coming out of their back. Gasquet is the goalkeeper. He knocks the ball out wide left. Their number 20, who I know his first name is Carlos, but he's not on their roster, so I don't have a last name for him. But number 20 knocks it into the middle of the field to the all too familiar number 6, Michael Uranker. Michael is just a rock in the middle of the field for Christendom. He controls speed and pace, and he is large. He is not going to lose a 50-50 ball to anybody. He's just a big, strong, physical player who has good skills. Foul on Christendom's number 8, so Central Penn will take a free kick coming out of the back. Here's Kyle Vargas, a sophomore player. Kyle gets it into the area, but it is contained by Christendom and cleared. Here comes Christendom the other way. Dangerous attack down the right-hand flank. Number 10 with a nice crossing ball. Vargas is able to make beautiful play by Kyle Vargas. I hope he's okay. He's able to head that ball right to Max Thorpe, his goalkeeper, and you can't pass it back to him with your feet to his hands, but you can pass to his feet and you can head to his hands. So that gave Thorpe the chance to just catch that ball and distribute it as desired. Good play by Kyle Vargas, excellent. Here comes Hicks again for Christendom. He's going up probably in the wrong direction. That's not where you want to go. Number 6, Trenton Bradley, is a rock back there, and Hicks probably could have picked somebody better to take on 1v1, because that will usually not end well. There's Ted Kreitz playing some good defense for Central Penn against a penetrating pass. Ted clears it out, and Sipes able to get it up to, or Pine is able to get it up to Sophie, up in the midfield. He knocks a ball down the right-hand side to Pine. Pine with a nice shot across the mouth of the goal, hopefully trying to get that ball on the foot of a Devin Kreis, who was running down the left-hand side. Devin just entered the match. Looks like he went in for Jordan Heil, and Devin almost ran onto that ball. I think the last time we announced the men's game out here, Devin got his first goal, and based on the quality of his celebration, it'd be great to see him get another one, because he was one happy young man. Here comes Christendom. Boy, this is a spirited game. This game goes back and forth so fast from end to end that there's almost no time to do anything but talk about what's happening. But it's been a rock solid season for these teams. They've both been respectable, playing tremendous competition. And here's Christendom again, penetrating deep into the Central Penn end. Ball cleared out to Derek Miller, who gets it out to Caleb Solis. Caleb knocks it wide to the left, and that's back in Miller's possession. He plays a right-footed ball out to Kyle Vargas, and Vargas immediately is dispossessed by number 11. It's just been really tough for, that's Nicholas Folkler. He's been really tough for Christendom today. And of course their captain, James Folkler, is just everywhere. He's all over the area. This guy's more or less the Energizer bunny of this team. He just keeps coming at the ball, and he's a lot to deal with. So Christendom, with what for Christendom isn't a great season, but they played some incredible competition this year. Teams the like of Berkeley, Potomac State College, Penn State Brandywine, who were the national champions last year. They played some tremendous competition, and they have a 5-6 overall record after 11 games, 27 goals, which is a good number of goals, almost 2.5 per game. I doubt they're unhappy with their season, but I doubt they're thrilled with it either, because this is perennially a top 10 team in the nation. So it should be a fairly even matchup with regards to just looking at the numbers today. One of the key differences, though, is that Christendom sitting over there with about 8 or 9 substitutes on their bench, and Central Penn has 1. So Central Penn will be down numbers today. They will experience more fatigue as the game goes on than Christendom will, because in the second half, well, we talked about this in our last telecast, last broadcast, in soccer, in college soccer, in the first half, when a player goes off, he's done. So Central Penn took a player off midway through the first half, that's Heil, and now he's done for the half, so they can't sub again. If they lose a player to injury, they play a man down. On the other hand, in the second half, if they sub a player, he can go back in. So you have re-entry in the second half, and that means in the second half, Christendom can really use their bench to take advantage of Central Penn's lack of substitutes. Here's a foul on Central Penn. So Christendom will have a free kick. Number 13 takes that kick. Foul on Trenton Bradley. And he'll have a few fouls, because he's just a tough kid. He's a good player, and hard-nosed and hard-working, and he will. Great touch, great touch. There's Pine with a deep ball out of the right-hand side. Just too deep. Too deep. Christendom trying to get a build-up out of the back.
Guys, exploit that. He has one ball. He gave it up back there. Come on.
No quit in Central Penn. They are certainly inspired and working hard. There's a beautiful ball by their captain, number 9, James Folkler. Just a lovely ball out of the back, and a point-blank shot. And I mean a point-blank shot by number 10, La Rochelle. And doggone it, Max Thorpe just made another incredible save. That's the third point-blank shot that, point-blank shots should be goals in soccer. Fundamentally, you should put those balls in the net, and not on frame, but in the net. And 3 times that's happened, and 3 times Thorpe has come up big. So you could sort of say, if you really want to think about it, it's Max Thorpe 3 and Christendom 1, because it would be 4-0 if it wasn't for the play of Max Thorpe today. So here's to all his development as a goalkeeper. He was also a finalist for the homecoming court, so he cleans up well as well. Let that small plane get overhead and get done making noise. Glad he didn't stick around to do any skywriting. Here's Christendom again, and again I will say Central Penn plays in a flat 4 in the back. They are flat as a pancake, 4 across the field, and Christendom runs a player right up to the last defender, and then they knock a ball into space past Central Penn, and it's fairly easy for them to get a guy into space with a ball. And Central Penn's going to have to make an adjustment to that tactically. I would expect Coach Wise to potentially take at least one of his central defenders and drop them back a little bit and give them a little bit of depth so that they can defend those penetrating passes that are coming out of the Christendom end of the field. Here's Derek Pine on the right-hand side. He's dispossessed. He's dispossessed by number 9, Folkler, and Christendom tries to switch fields and knock it around the back, but Caleb Solis is able to intercept that pass. And here comes Pine going forward, and Christendom clears. Kyle Vargas now with an attempted pass out of the back for Central Penn, and we've got a tennis match developing here in the middle of a soccer game, because the ball's just going right to left to right, and we'll just let them knock it around a little bit till things settle down. There's another one of those balls on the ground that are so dangerous to Central Penn. Just played a little too deep, but I do think Central Penn's going to have to make an adjustment to that strategy, or that could be problems for them in the second half, because their defenders will get tired. There's Derek Miller coming up out of the back. Unfortunately, he's dispossessed. Caleb Solis doing a great job coming back from the central midfield to left defender and picking up the space when the player went down on the field. Just a great job by Caleb. Really showing his sense of team play. So it's 1-0 Christendom. Oh, there's a foul by Central Penn. Christendom will have a free kick right around the midfield line. It looks like number 16, your anchor, will take that kick. He's got a very, very strong leg. He gets it down, number 17. Beautiful header. Beautiful header by, by number 17, and it comes right onto the foot of number 13 coming down the field for Christendom. That's Sheedy, but Central Penn is able to clear that ball, and Ted Kreitz did a great job there. I think he might have saved a goal for Central Penn. There's Thorpe with the handling of the corner kick. Ball to Central Penn, coming out wide left to Derek Pine. Here comes Pine up the right-hand side, lots of space. He knocks it forward to Sophie, who goes right back to Pine into space. Quality opportunity. Oh, quality opportunity for Central Penn, and Pine just misses wide right. That's a goal kick for Christendom, and a substitution with, looks like McClinton coming into the game. It looks like he's coming in the central midfield. No, Pine's going to the central midfield, and McClinton is going out on the right. I think that's first action for him today. And now Central Penn has 2 players on their bench. I guess McClinton just arrived. So this match stays very, very close. 1-0. Anything can happen at this point. There's Solis with a real nice move on the left-hand side. Gets through a defender. Plays quality ball to Pine. He's got it on the left-hand side, puts a quality ball into the area. Oh, the defender slips and falls, which leaves the ball sitting right on the foot of Devin Christ. And unfortunately, he hits the ball high, I mean real high, and off to the right. Not at all what he wanted out of that opportunity, because that was a point-blank shot. Had he been able to open his hip and hit that ball with his instep, he could have put a quality shot on goal there. Goal kick for Christendom, headed right back into their area by Kyle Vargas, who's played just a tremendous game today. Kyle looks terrific. I can see why he was voted captain by his teammates today. Quality penetrating ball for Christendom on the ground again, number 10, and he's not going to be very happy with himself either. That's Mark La Rochelle. Mark had a left-footed opportunity there. He's a left-footed player, and he just spun that thing outside the goal, and he had Max Thorpe dead to rights after he was able to get past the Central Penn defense. I tell you now, they're going to have to do something about those penetrating balls on the ground. That is a huge threat, and Christendom will connect some goals if Central Penn doesn't make a tactical adjustment to that strategy. So hopefully Coach Wise will see that and make that adjustment at halftime. He knows his football, and he will, I'm sure, do what he has to do to adjust there. Meanwhile, his Central Penn Knights are starting to get some offensive penetration. They are getting their opportunities, and they've had two, I'd say, quality shots. Pine just had the best one by a lot, and earlier Kyle Vargas had a quality shot as well. So here's McClinton dropping the ball back to Jean-Philippe. Ends up on the foot of Christendom, but Derek Miller is able to clear that ball away. Here's Christ coming out on the left-hand side. Devin Christ knocks the ball forward to Caleb Solis. He's looking for Sophie, and there he is with a quality ball up to Sophie. And the goalkeeper comes out and makes an excellent play. Real nice play by Christendom's goalkeeper, number 7, Gasquet. He came out and way out of the area where he can use his hands, and just used his feet and cleared the ball. He did what he had to do to thwart that opportunity for Central Penn, and that was a dangerous opportunity. And Asofu can do that. He has the speed and the ability to put the ball in the net, that if you can get him into space, he's an extremely dangerous player. The tricky part is he doesn't always play it forward, so he's not always able to run into that space. But right now, he's up top. He's in a position where he can become that dangerous threat for Central Penn. Christendom knocking the ball around in the back, stolen by Caleb Solis. Number 6, Bradley, knocks a deep ball from the back, but it goes right to the goalkeeper. So it's Christendom ball coming the other way. Nice punt by Christendom. That was from the 11. Gee whiz, 2 bounces almost to the 18 on the other ends. That's a big boy punt coming out of the back end by the Christendom goalkeeper. Here comes Christendom with a real opportunity in front of the goal. Oh boy, offsides, and that's a good thing. Number 13 must have just come from an offside position. That's Vanderwoody, and my guess would be that he came back onside from an offside position, and the assistant referee caught it. And you can be onside and receive a pass and still be offside if you were offsides a moment before. You can't just be offside and run onside. So thankfully that goal did not happen, and it's still 1-0. Still 1-0 for Christendom. They're here with their head coach, Jake Gutierrez, and their assistant coach, Chris Folkler. And I'm guessing Chris's little brother, Nicholas, is the Folkler that's on the team right now. So there's a coach-player connection there. Unfortunate foul for number 6, Trenton Bradley of Central Penn. He got a little violent there, put a hip into a Christendom player who's a little slow to get up. But I think he's okay. Not very happy, but okay. And soccer is a violent sport. There's a lot of contact, a lot more than people realize. It's not rugby, but it's not for sissies either. So here's a free kick for Christendom coming out of the back. Their goalkeeper knocks it on a possession touch out to number 5, and then they knock it wide right and back into the midfield, and that's just good quality possession. Central Penn is able to dispossess Christendom, and they knock the ball wide left, coming down the left-hand side. And it's a foul on Central Penn. That would be Pine again with the foul. He's an assertive defensive player. He will commit some fouls. You can't have it both ways. If you want real hard workers, you want blue-collar effort on that field, you're going to have some fouls. And if you don't have any fouls, then you're not going to be very happy with the work rate of your players. So it comes with the territory. Here's Solis knocking it back to Ted Kreitz on defense. Ted moving in positions. He started the season playing up front. Now he's more of a central defender, filling in for Todd Barry, who's not dressed today for the game. There's Christendom with a quick 1-2 pass into the Central Penn area. Number 9 wide open on the back post. I hope they're not able to get him the ball. Oh, wow. Missed opportunity again for Christendom. Thomas Van Woody, or Vander Woody, he had it real easy there. He was at about 9 meters point blank, and all he had to do was put the ball in the net, and he kicked it right to the goalkeeper. And I'll tell you what causes that. And, you notice those goalkeepers wear usually generally very bright colors. And there's something inside the brain that says if you look up to take a shot and you see that bright color and you kick a ball, you kick it right to the bright color. There's a beautiful left-footed shot by Christendom's number 10, but it's right in the hands of Thorpe. That's La Rochelle, saved by Max Thorpe coming out of the back. But those goalkeepers wear those bright colors for a reason. And so when you're dribbling a soccer ball and you're going as fast as you can and the defender's yanking on you, you look up, you see a bright color, and you have a subconscious tendency to kick the ball right to the bright color. And that's why that happens a lot, because he had a wide open net and all he had to do was place it, and that would have been a goal. There's a hard shot by Christendom off the left hand of Max Thorpe. That's a real tough save for Max. That's their captain, number 9, James Folkler. What happened there was Thorpe was moving left because Folkler was moving right, and Folkler did the right thing. He pulled that shot back to the left, which is hard to do with accuracy, and that's why he's the captain of their team. He played a real hard shot back to the left side, so Thorpe had to try to lean way right to try to make a save while he's moving to his left, and quite honestly, that's just a big ask. So it's 2-0 Christendom. And that's probably appropriate. They've had the better play at this point, but Central Penn has been getting their opportunities, and they will continue to attempt to do so. Errant pass out of the back by Philippe. So here's Ted Kreitz doing a real good job on number 10 for Christendom, who had a real scoring opportunity there, and Kreitz was able to shut down that threat.
I got back, Carlos. I got drop. Yeah. There you go, so. There you go. Oh, no.
So there's a foul on Central Penn. Attempted possession down the right-hand side. Didn't work out. Foul on Central Penn. And Christendom will put the ball back in play. We're probably about 3/4 of the way through the first half. And Christendom will possess the ball now with a 2-goal lead. You don't get in any huge rush. You do everything a little bit slower. That's just part of the game. And they'll take their time and do what they do.
Here we go. Yes, Touchy. Central. Swing. Yes, Kyle, yeah.
Great defensive job by Kyle Vargas.
We got 2 now. One coming.
Man up, bro. You got 3 on you. Play it up.
Central Penn with real nice possession around the back. Central midfielders, Bradley and Kreitz doing a terrific job in knocking that ball around with their offensive players in the back. And Central Penn is able to transition the other way, but it's cleared by number 20 of Christendom. So there'll be a throw into Central Penn. Looks like Pine will be taking that throw from inside the 18, wide right. Here's his throw. He has a really strong throw. If they ever need a throw that can be shot, he would be the guy to take it. Here's Pine on the right side. Oh, terrific move and shot by Derek Pine. He had a real opportunity there, and the goalkeeper just got a hand on it and knocked it over the top bar, or that would have been 2-1, and this would have been a whole different ball game. Really terrific skill by Pine, and he's a gifted player. There's a whole lot he can't do on a soccer field. Coming off a broken arm. He started the season injured, but he's certainly in form now. Here's Miller winning a ball out of the back. Derek Miller, local product out of Middletown High School. And Derek gets the ball into the middle field where Christendom wins it away. They attempt to get the ball forward to their captain and aren't able to do so. Bradley wins it in the Central defense, gets it up to Caleb Solis, and here comes Central Penn. We'll see what the Knights can work up here. And there's the 2 whistles for halftime. So we'll take a break here from Adams-Ricci Park with the score: Christendom 2, Central Penn Knights 0. We okay? It's second half soccer. Central Penn Knights and Christendom Crusaders. Christendom with a 2-goal lead. It's 2-0 here at Adams-Ricci Park. Now Central Penn will be going right to left as we see it. And we're facing east, and Christendom will be going left to right. Christendom's had the better play in this match. There's no question about that. They've possessed the ball a little stronger. They found a weakness in the Central Penn defense, and that is the nature of how exactly flat it is. They're able to play a lot of penetrating balls on the ground through that defense and run onto them and get opportunities that way. And that's pretty much how they've gotten every scoring opportunity they have. But Central Penn comes out of the back with the kickoff. Derek Miller loses the ball on the left-hand side of the pitch, and here comes Christendom the other way. Their captain Folkler tries to get the ball wide right out of the midfield, and it's taken off his foot by Caleb Solis. Nice defense by Caleb. And here comes Central Penn the other way. Ball played forward to Pine. He knocks it forward, trying to get it forward to Sophie, but we're going the other way. Central Penn wins the ball back in the midfield, and off we go the other way. Here's Kyle Vargas. Knocks it out into the middle of the field. That's the number 4, Tucker Bolton. Tucker gets it to Pine. Pine dumps it wide right, and there's not really anybody there. Ball cleared out of bounds. That'll be a throw-in for Central Penn at about 8 meters off the end line. It's a lovely day. It's overcast, a heavy cloud cover, but at the same time, it's a very comfortable temperature. You couldn't ask for better weather for a soccer match. It'll allow the Central Penn Knights to play with fewer substitutes and maybe not suffer quite the fatigue they would if it was a hot temperature. A little bit of passive play there by Christendom allows Caleb Solis to take the ball off their foot. Caleb doing his dance over on the right-hand side. He goes down near the end line. No call, but that's a corner to Central Penn, so that it does work out in their favor. Solis getting ready to tee that ball up. Looks like Pine's going to come out and take that corner. Solis will hang out, though, to see if they can have a chance to play it short. Looks like they won't. So Central Penn knocks a ball into the area.
Heads, watch him.
Bradley comes in hard on that, goes up, and looked like he collided a little bit with number 1 from Christendom. That's Joshua Mead, but they're both okay and back in play. So it's a goal kick. It's a goal kick for Christendom. Knocked wide right. They attempt a 1-2 out of the back, but the ball's dumped into space and lost. Here comes Central Penn the other way. Number 4, Tucker Bolton, knocks the ball deep into the left-hand side. He's fighting off the end line. And unfortunately loses it off his own foot, so that'll be a goal kick from 6 meters for Christendom. Christendom, a successful program. They've not had the typical Christendom type of year, but they are a very successful program, and they still look really good, even with a losing record of 5-6. Coach Jake Gutierrez has his team playing quite well, and you can see that they're young. They lost a lot of players. They had the top scorer in the nation last year, and a top 5 in the nation team. So when you lose that kind of talent to graduation, you'll go downhill a little bit for a year, but they're not rebuilding, they're reloading. And Central Penn, by their own rights, Coach Wise is building his own program up, and he's brought in more talent than this program has ever had. This is by far the most talented team that Central Penn has ever put on the pitch, and there's no reason to think why there isn't a very, very bright future for Coach Wise and his Central Penn Knights. Very young squad. There's Thorpe playing a ball. Again, penetrating ball coming in on the ground. Looking for number 5 for Christendom, and Thorpe is able to clear it. Here's Christendom into space. Dangerous play. And Thorpe is able to cover up that shot. It was sort of a low, weaker shot, and Max Thorpe able to cover it easily. He'll look to distribute. Passes up Miller on the right-hand side and punts the ball to midfield. Number 11, Nicholas Folkler, loses the ball out of the midfield, and it looks like it's going to be a throw-in to Central Penn. Caleb Solis looking for options to throw the ball in. There's Bradley, and looks like he's able to knock it into Jean-Philippe. And here comes Bradley out of the back, dribbling through a crowd, and he's tripped. Oh boy, lucky call there. He had lost control of the ball, and usually once you lose control of the ball, a foul will not be called, but it was. Ball into the area to Pine. He drops it back to Miller. Miller with a nice ball through the air into the far right-hand side. Christendom clears it out to Solis. Solis carrying back in for Central Penn, hoping to get a shot off. Caleb had a nice goal in his last game. Hopefully he can put another tally on the board today, get Central Penn back in the game, because a goal here would change everything. It would give Central Penn energy and legs and confidence, because they would still be in the match 2-1. So let's hope that Central Penn can score first in this half. Here's Bolton looking for Pine out of the back. This didn't quite happen down around the 18. So they hustle back on defense, and here's Solis with a nice steal in the middle of the field. Solis to Vargas. Leap out of the back to Vargas. Ball stolen by Christendom. Nice passing in the middle for Christendom. And a hold by Bradley on the captain, number 9, James Folkler. So Christendom will tee it up at midfield. Here's number 13, wide open shot, nice save by Max Thorpe down low. Comes up throwing the ball hard to Pine. Great distribution by Thorpe. That was a goalkeeper play by a guy who's not been a goalkeeper in his life, and that save and that distribution was done as well as you can do it technically. It's tremendous goalkeeping. So here's Christendom, left to right from the midfield. Looking down the right-hand side for Folkler, but the ball's played too deep by number 16. That's Michael, your anchor, and it will be a throw to Central Penn. Derek Miller, left back all season, steady, game after game. I don't think he's ever been off the pitch to my knowledge. Just a terrific, solid player for Central Penn all season long. Here's Solis and Kreitz working a wall pass down the left-hand side. Ball lost or cleared out of bounds. Throw into Central Penn. Miller again with the throw. There's Pine. Solis on the right-hand side. And Christendom intercepts a pass coming the other way quickly. Nice play by Miller, clearing that ball away from Folkler. Here's Sipe with a nice move in the midfield, and Central Penn has numbers, 3v3. Coming back, left-hand side to Sophie. And Christendom gets the better of that battle. Nice defense by Miller. Header back to Thorpe, and here's Thorpe with a punt out of the back. Real nice kick up over midfield. And Christendom battles for and wins that ball. Big number 16, just always coming up. That's your anchor, and he just keeps coming up with opportunities. Now he's inside the 18, point blank range. Just missed his cap and Folkler. There's a point blank shot. Oh boy, Christendom just missed it. Number 11, La Rochelle, had a point blank shot from out wide left, and that came off to number 8, which is Brian Hicks, who already has a goal, and he missed a point blank shot from about 8 meters. So Central Penn is using up their 9 lives on saves like that. They really were fortunate. Here's Bradley coming up out of the back, dispossessed by Folkler. tries to chip Max Thorpe and knocks it out of bounds. It's getting a little chippy out there in this game. Notice number 4, Tucker Bolton for Central Penn, a very spirited player, starting to mix it up a little bit with several of the Christendom players. Might be a good time to give him a little bit of a rest or something, but then again, you want your players working hard, but so you have to be careful about cards. There's a beautiful pass to Volkler in the right around the 18. He takes a shot blocked by Bradley, and Miller's able to clear the ball off the left-hand side. Here's Sipe coming on to that pass, and Central Penn possesses the ball coming up out of the back. Sophie with the ball wide right to Kyle Vargas. Beautiful ball out to the right side. Kyle just not able to come up with that ball. So Christendom comes the other way, and here's number 8 up front. Excellent play by Ted Christ to clear that ball. That was Brian Hicks coming down the left-hand side, and he was a legitimate scoring opportunity if Ted didn't make that play. I'll tell you what, Ted Christ's play at center back has really improved since the last time we saw him. A real nice job by him in the middle of the field today. Oh, Central Penn just lost track of a player there. Number 1, Joshua Mead, was wide open on the right side of the field, and if Christendom would have got him the ball, he would have been point blank with an empty goal, but they weren't able to get the ball to him. So goal kick to Max Thorpe. Here comes Central Penn, right to left. Not much wind today. It's a pretty windless day, so the ball is able to be played true, and that's not a big factor in terms of how the game is played. Unfortunately, Central Penn loses that goal kick out of bounds. So Christendom will take a throw from the right-hand side. Joshua Mead with the throw in. Of course, the number 16, your anchor, and he is an anchor. I'll tell you, it's no play on words. He is rock solid in the middle of the field, big and skilled. Christendom attempts to connect a couple passes up front, doesn't quite happen. Here comes Sophie the other way. Central Penn looking for Kyle Vargas out the right-hand side. And Christendom is able to deflect that ball and come back the other way. Central Penn just hasn't been able to buy a break in this half. They've had a couple opportunities where just the right opportunity or the right little deflection or whatever would have been all they needed to have their chance, and it just hasn't worked out for them. So now Christendom will start to be wise. They will start to drain that bench. Coach Gutierrez knows that with the talent and speed he has, he can start to use his substitutes with the knowledge that they can go right back on the field as needed. So while Central Penn's players are, going full tilt, Christendom can rest their star players for 5 minutes and put them back in the game and let them finish. And that's a big advantage in terms of keeping the legs fresh. So we'll see if it plays out. This would be a great time for Central Penn to go down and knock one in the net. Here's Christendom with the ball, right to their captain, Volkler, right in the middle of the field. He knocks a ball back towards the far post. The player he's trying to hit was number 1, Joshua Mead, and Joshua was in an offside position. So the flag goes up. That's an indirect kick coming out from about 12 meters. Central Penn, Max Thorpe, goalkeeper Max Thorpe taking the kick. He knocks it right up the middle of the field on the ground to Kyle Vargas, who misplays it, and unfortunately that's lost, but Christendom gives it up as well. So here comes Central Penn again. Thorpe from the 18 with the punt. Oh wow, what a great leg. About 60 meters out of the back. Here's the captain, Volkler, over to your anchor. He knocks it over to number 11, Volkler. And Christendom is in possession of the ball. Number 13, Vanderwoody, he loses it over on the left-hand side, but Christendom wins it back. Dangerous ball for number 5 out of the back, and number 8 is dumped in the area, and that's going to be a penalty kick. That was a legit call. Nothing Central Penn can do or argue about. He had the ball was played into the area, the player collected it, was right at the dot, and he just got his feet pulled right out from under him. So their captain, number 9, James Folkler, will take this penalty kick. And it is saved by Max Thorpe. Wow, what a great play. Folkler hit the penalty kick off the crossbar underneath. It came straight down, and in most cases that ball would end up in the goal. Almost every time a player hits the crossbar on a ball like that, it usually comes down and goes in because of spin. And in this case, it actually came down and landed right on Max Thorpe, the goalkeeper for Central Penn, who had dove and was on the ground. And the ball came right to it, just landed right in his arms, and he was able to make that save. So here's to Max Thorpe, and the score remains 2-0. So this gives Central Penn a jolt of energy, and here comes Sophie the other way to Sipe, back over the other way to Kyle Vargas. Great ball across the mouth of the goal from Vargas, but it is picked up by the goalkeeper for Christendom, and they come the other way. They have changed goalkeepers, but I don't have a name on the player who went in there. I know they were calling him Carlos, but I don't have a name for him because he's not on their roster. He was number 20. Well, we'll just call him Carlos. There's Bolton for Central Penn, knocking the ball back to Ted Kreitz in the central midfield. Kreitz knocks it over to the right real nicely to Jean-Philippe, and here comes Central Penn with a little bit of a build-up. This looks good. You can just see the energy that Central Penn has been given by that missed penalty kick. That's an energy builder, and that will give them an opportunity to play off that energy and that success and see what they can create. And here's Volkler. He gets past Bradley in the midfield, knocks a ball wide left that is intercepted by Philippe, and then cleared by Miller. Number 11, Folkler, wins the ball back for Christendom. His ball is negated, blocked by Bradley. And here's Central Penn with a dangerous ball. Jordan Heil with a real nice ball up front and up to Sofu, but it doesn't connect. Here's Caleb Solis off the throw-in, looking for Sophie, but not there. And looks like Christendom's able to get that ball out of the back. Oh, Kyle Vargas wins it back again. Here comes Bolton for Central Penn, and you can just see a new, renewed energy and spirit from Central Penn. What a great shot, a long shot, 32 meters by Asofu, and just a tremendous save by the goalkeeper for Christendom. I'm just amazed they can take a defender and put him in goal, and then you see him make a one-handed save like that. And his technique was absolutely perfect. And he's really not a very tall goalkeeper. He's not a guy you would typically pick to play in goal. Here's Sipe working his tail off and winning a ball back for Central Penn. Creates an opportunity for Sophie on a breakaway, and the goalkeeper comes out and stuffs that. So this Carlos is quite a goalkeeper, I must say. He looks far better in goal than he did in the first half playing defense. So I'm not sure what that's all about, but the Central Penn throw-in goes off the end line, and that's a goal kick to Christendom. Christendom knocks the ball out wide left. Number 15, Jonathan Stahl, works it up into the midfield. Ball's played deep into the side to Brian Hicks. Brian Hicks, who scored for Christendom in the first half, is still a legitimate threat out here in the second half. Very strong player. Hicks is a freshman too. He's a recruit from Camarillo, California. You know you have a soccer program in Virginia when you're bringing in recruits from California, because that does not happen often. Here's a deep through ball. And now a ruckus has broken loose on the field. Central Penn's player Asofu was dumped on his face going into the other end. I don't believe it was an intentional foul, but he certainly took offense to it and went after the Christendom player. So there'll be some bookings on this one. There's yellow for Christendom, and Asofu will see yellow as well for the retaliation, and that's fair. Handled well by the referee. Separated the two players, booked them both, sends them on their way, and gets them back in the game mentally. So now the bookings will be recorded by the referee, and then he'll need to give a full 10 to Central Penn. I'm sure they'll ask for space, and he'll have to step that off and give them their 10. There we go. Okay, so now Central Penn is ready for their free kick. Sofu over the ball. I doubt he'll put this on goal because he's right-footed and it's a pretty wide angle to the right. You would want a left-footed player to hit this if you're gonna. Well, it took a hard shot from the right-hand side, knocked by Pine and hit by Sofu, and that did not work out as planned. So here's Solis in the midfield, knocking the ball back around for Central Penn. Oh, Vargas just got smacked in the nose by his own player. He just ran right into Bradley, and he's shaking his head and holding his nose. I hope he's okay, because Kyle's a tremendous player. There's a threat by Christendom, thwarted by Max Thorpe. Max always alert, looking very comfortable at the goalkeeper position at this point. Here comes Christendom the other way. And a very dangerous ball, again on the ground, penetrating the defense of Central Penn between Bradley and Kreitz. Two players running onto it, but Thorpe was able to come out and make the play. I tell you, Max Thorpe should get a game ball today, win or lose. He's had a hand in probably saving at least 5 point-blank goals in this game, and that would be an ugly score if he hadn't done his job as well as he's done. Central Penn is coming off a 2-2 tie. They did a double overtime game down at Valley Forge recently, and they had to do that one with I think even one fewer player. So Central Penn must be a little tired coming off that last match. But one thing you can say for Coach Wise, he keeps these kids fit. They work in practice and they work hard, and they are a fit bunch of athletes, and Coach Wise has them ready physically all the time. So despite playing double overtime just a few days ago, and there's a booking for Bolton, and he's had an issue this year with accumulation of yellows. He actually had to sit a game, I think, for accumulation. They count on an overall basis as well as a game-by-game basis. So, as I was saying, Coach Wise is not going to let too many games affect the conditioning of his team, whether they have 9 or 10 or 11 or 12 and 13, and whether they play 2 overtimes or not, they will come out here and be ready every single time. Here's Christendom headed to the Central Penn end. Number 7, Carey, on the right-hand side. I guess it's Nick Carey. They are dispossessed in the central midfield. Here comes Sophie the other way to Pine. Drop back to Bradley. Up into Solis in the midfield. Ball switched to the left-hand side to Sofu, and he loses the ball to the Christendom defender, number 1. That's Joshua Mead. Central Penn wins it in the midfield again, and I have to say, all credit to the Central Penn Knights. They have come out here and won ball after ball and played with a lot of vigor in the second half, and they've been just tremendously opportune and hardworking in their efforts. Christendom with a through ball again, thwarted by Max Thorpe. Tremendous defense by him. And here's Max's punt out of the back. Probably his longest of the day. Gets Sofu into space. Fortunately, he's dispossessed. And Kyle Vargas will have a throw in from the left-hand side of the field. That one ended up right in the press box. So the referee settles things down, gets the players under control, and here's a throw in from Kyle Vargas, the captain for Central Penn. Throws it into Solis. Kicked out of bounds by Christendom, and Vargas with another throw in. Down 2-0. Central Penn does have to have a sense of urgency here. It's not going to be easy to score 2 goals against Christendom, so they're going to have to do their absolute best and have a sense of urgency about getting 1 goal immediately so they can move on to a second one. Christendom knocking the ball around in the midfield, moving it around. Central Penn comes into this match with a 3-7-2 record, 3 wins, 7 losses, 2 ties, 27 goals, about 2.25 goals per game, about the same. Oh, there's a missed opportunity by Christendom. Oh, wow. I have no idea how that goal ended up in. I can't even piece that together for you. Number 7, Aganzi Nakeri, had the ball virtually on the end line for Christendom, and somehow with Tucker Bolton standing right next to him, and Max Thorpe between him and the goal, he somehow lobbed that ball over a defender, over a goalkeeper, and into the side netting on the far end. That's like, I would say this, if you gave Messi multiple chances at that, he might make 1, but he wouldn't make them all. That was just amazing. I don't know if that was luck or skill, but if that's skill, he's going to be a heck of a soccer player, because that was an amazing touch shot. I know goalkeeper Max Thorpe was not happy about it, so something, I'm guessing, went wrong there. That is offsides against Christendom, called by the center ref, interestingly enough. The center referee called that, not the assistant referee, which is not how it's supposed to work, but that's exactly what happened. And then the AR, of course, having a radio, they talk to each other now. He puts his arm up in the air and follows up and supports the call, but you don't see a lot of offsides calls these days called out of the center of the field. There's a wide open shot again for Christendom, same player, number 7, and he hits it with his right foot this time, and it's a fairly soft shot right to Max Thorpe. He makes the save. Throw in left side, looks like McClinton. You know you're getting up in your announcer years when it's hard to see the numbers across the pitch. But that'll be a throw into Pine on the right side for Central Penn. Doug Fisher here with you at Adams-Ricci Park in Mechanicsburg. Show produced by Paul Miller, the professor from Central Penn College, a professor of communications and a program director over there. Here's Pine with an attempted shot from just outside the 18, but it's mishit, goes wide right. Professor Miller runs the Knights broadcasting program at Central Penn College, a tremendously successful program that just accomplished their 100th podcast. Program just started a few years ago, and tremendous number of excellent podcasts. And there's another goal, another excellent goal by Christendom. You just have to give them credit on that one. That was what's called a transition goal. They came faster than Central Penn could deal with, and they were able to knock a ball wide right. And again, number 7, the carry, is able to one-time that ball in the goal with his left foot. He's obviously a left-footed player. And he was able to knock that home, and it's now all of a sudden out of hand. This is a 4-0 match, and you can see on the face of the Central Penn players that there's some frustration and fatigue there now. So this is a character builder. This is when you find out it's your last game of the season. Central Penn, they're staring down the barrel of a 3-8-2 record. Probably not everything they expected this year. But they've had to do it with a very small number of players, and that's characteristic of the program. We're not famous for having the most players out there, and Coach Wise has done an excellent job in his first season of figuring his talent out, bringing in excellent talent. He has recruited by far the best talent we've ever had at Central Penn. You just have to give him a ton of credit for what he's done, and you just have to look for just bigger and better things again for Central Penn. So Devin Christ just making a great effort down the left-hand side of the field, outworking 2 Christendom defenders, showing that Central Penn never quits. He throws into Pine, who knocks it in front of the goal, and Kyle Vargas takes a go at it, but it is a block. Number 5 for Christendom was able to block that flick, and here comes Christendom the other way. And this dangerous number 4, McGarry, he is back in action, going down the left-hand side of the field with all of his speed, and he is quick. Point-blank shot off of Thorpe's hands, hits the upright, and goes back into Thorpe's hands. Sometimes you want to be lucky, and that was lucky, and that's good. So Central Penn holds off another threat for Christendom, but I've got to say these through balls are a constant threat, and they have been the whole game, and I guess they will be to the end. And this is the end of the season for both of these teams, so all of these young men know with their records, Christendom will be 6-6, Central Penn 3-8-2. That tells you that neither of these teams will probably be in any sort of a playoff position. So this is probably the last game of the season for both of these teams, all of these players, and for the seniors on these 2 teams. It's a very, very emotional experience because this could be the last game of soccer they ever play of any substance. So other than something recreational as an adult. So this is a very emotional experience for a senior that has been an athlete for 4 years of a college career. There's another shot by Christendom, wide left, just goes right of goal. Another dangerous threat for the Crusaders of Christendom. That's Mark La Rochelle, and he's had his left foot involved in things all day long, and he's just another one of the threats that Christendom has. A lot of youth on their roster. They're a very, very young team. You look down their roster and you see 1, 2 seniors, 2 seniors on the entire Christendom roster. That speaks to their future. They don't rebuild, they reload, and they certainly have a tremendous amount of talent for their youth, and we'll expect them to continue to be a national powerhouse. Throw into Central Penn, Miller into Bradley. Bradley carries and delivers up front to Sipe. Sipe flicks the ball on to Heil. Heil not quite able to get there, and the Christendom goalkeeper scoops that up. Carlos plays it out to number 5, knocks it ahead to their captain, Folkler, and he dumps it in, but that's going to be easily handled by Philippe. Ball cleared by Thorpe out to midfield. Caleb Solis battling against Folkler in the midfield. And you'd think it's a 0-0 match to watch those 2 fighting away. That battle went to the Crusaders. Here comes Bolton in to steal a ball in the midfield. Well, this will be a shot. Yep. Sophie with a terrific shot. I think it was deflected ever so slightly and ended up just right. And indeed, that was a deflection because this is a corner kick. So it's a corner kick to the Central Penn Knights. Looks like Derek Pine, number 21, will take the kick. And just about everybody is in there. Only Ted Kreitz and Philippe left at midfield. Kyle Vargas getting ready to come back into the game. There's a great shot by Caleb Solis, but it's blocked by the Crusaders. Ball cleared by Christendom. And here come the Crusaders the other way. Number 17, Gasquet, who was the goalkeeper in the first half, is down on the right-hand side. Misplays the ball into the midfield to Bradley. Perhaps that's why he's a goalkeeper. And here comes Bradley the other way. Knocks the ball into space to Sofu, but it's cleared out by the Christendom goalkeeper. That should be a corner kick for Central Penn. If it goes off the end line, it's a corner. If it goes off the sideline, it's a throw-in. And this is a corner kick. Sofu over the ball. Looks like Derek Pine is out there with him and Derek Miller approaching from the back. So 3 players set up in a position to where they could play this corner short if they prefer to. Now 1 defender goes out from Christendom. By short, I mean you can take a corner kick and dribble it towards the goal. If you have 2 and the other team has 1, there they go. They play this short, and they are in the area with an opportunity to have a go at the goal. Tremendous job taking advantage of the opportunity by the Knights. If they don't send a second defender out, you attack their goal, playing short on that side. Derek Pine hustling back on defense.
Yeah. Come on, Jordan.
And here comes Christendom out of their back. My guess would be this. We're down into the final minutes of this half. And here comes Christendom the other way. Ball cleared out by Kreitz out of the back. Won by number 13. Bradley takes the ball off of him. Philippe clears it, and it's Central Penn headed right to left. Throw into to Central Penn. Kyle Vargas back in the game, and he's taking that throw from the right-hand side. He puts it right on Pine's foot. Excellent throw. Pine makes a move, takes a long shot that's blocked, but it goes off the end line. That's a corner kick to Central Penn. It would be a moral victory right now for Central Penn to be able to tally off of this corner. Bradley is up in the area. He's got vertical too. Unfortunately, it is cleared by number 17 for Christendom. That's Gasquet, the goalkeeper from the first half. Ted Kreitz wins the ball at midfield. Attempts to play at the Bolton, but loses the ball on a bad pass. And here comes the captain, Volker, the other way. Ball switched the whole way to the opposite side of the field to Vanderwoody. He makes a move by Philippe, takes a hard left-footed shot, beats Max Thorpe to his right, to his left, but the shot is wide, and thankfully that'll be a goal kick for Central Penn. That could have easily been a 5th goal for Christendom. So here's Pine out of the midfield, trying to knock the ball to Isofu out of the back, trying to give him a through ball that he can run onto. And it just doesn't happen. Number 16, your anchor, clears that, and I'll tell you what, he's been a major factor in this game. He has just been just a rock in the midfield for Christendom. Number 16, that's Michael, your anchor. He's just a solid player. Tremendous credit to him. He and their captain, James Folkler, have been stalwarts for Christendom's coach, Coach Gutierrez. They have just controlled the midfield play for the majority of the match today. So Central Penn with a goal kick. Max Thorpe knocks it out wide right to Bradley. attempting to possess the ball out of the back instead of just kicking it, which is good. Bolton plays it up into the midfield. That pass is intercepted. And here's their captain wide open, 1v1 going to goal for an easy goal. It's 5-0 Christendom on the turnover. Unfortunate. Bolton's pass just went right to Christendom, and it was just converted into a goal 3 touches later. And Central Penn is, quite frankly, they're just tired and beat up at this point. But there will be no quit. That's Coach Wise's style. He would never let these guys give it up. They will, in respect for him as a coach and the job he's done with this team this year, they will go back up there and they will fight to the very end of this match and do everything they can to do something positive here coming out of this clean sheet. And clean sheet in soccer vernacular means a shutout. If you're a baseball fan or something like that, that would translate clean sheet for you. So Christendom continuing to knock the ball around nicely.
Hey, come on, man on.
They're in a lot of different positions, but not stopping. Number 16, your anchor, up on the right-hand side, taking that throw in. And their captain, Folkler, still on the field. So they have not drained their bench entirely. Still with a lot of their starters and captains out there on the pitch. And soccer is not a mercy sport. If you have a big lead in soccer and you can continue to score, you continue to score. There's not that many goals scored in soccer, and you can make them, you make them. It's not a merciful sport at all. We like to say, if you need a friend, get a dog, because we're going to keep scoring goals on you. And here comes Christendom out of the back. Number 16 up to the captain, Volkler, out wide right to your anchor. He's looking carefully for number 17, Gasquet. Nothing makes a goalkeeper happier than scoring a goal, let me tell you. So if they can get their goalkeeper a goal, they will do it, because boy, that's always a happy soul. Solis with the ball, right side for Central Penn. Somehow, I guess, just loses it out of bounds. There wasn't any defense. He just probably fatigue. Loses the ball, and Christendom controls again. Speaking of mercy, there will be mercy if that whistle blows soon. 3 whistles will end the game. 2 whistles halftime, 3 whistles end of game. There's a beautiful cross. Just an absolutely gorgeous cross by number 11, La Rochelle. Landed right on the head of Gasquet, right in front of the goal. And now you know why he's a goalkeeper, because he's missed pretty much all of his opportunities. If he could shoot, he'd be a forward, right? So that's okay. Everybody's got their skill set. Max Thorpe with what might be his last goal kick of the year. Here goes Central Penn into space, cleared out of bounds. Derek Miller trying to get over the ball. Derek Miller with the throw in, right side or left side to a Sofu. Ooh, body. Christendom trying to clear out of the back. Ball won by Bolton in the midfield. He knocks it back to Thorpe. Central Penn trying to get organized to start their possession process out of the back. They lose it. Ball comes off Folkler's foot. Looked like Gasquet came off from an offside position, but didn't get called. So it continues to be Christendom's ball. Looks like your anchor will take the throw on the right-hand side of the field. He brings it into Folkler, who knocks it wide left, headed away by Bradley. Christendom's left back steps up, and at this point there's not much of a forward press from Central Penn, so Christendom's able to keep a lot of players back. Bolton goes down hard out in front of the goal. I think one of Christendom's players' feet went right over his head, probably hit him in the head. And that'll shake you up when a cleat wraps you on the head. It was number 5, Timothy Kloss, that went flying over Bolton, and I believe may have. Oh, no, it looks like it might be an ankle. He's limping. I thought he might have got thumped on the head, but looks like it's lower leg. He's starting to lose that limp as he walks off, so my guess would be he'll be back. Coach Wise out to take Bolton to safety. With the score 5-0, it's not really that important that he gets back in the match, but odds are he will want to. He is a true competitor. Bolton is an extremely hard worker. Point blank shot for Christendom, and Max Thorpe just reaches up with his big long arms and makes the save. He just looked like a praying mantis on that play. He just reached out there and snagged that ball right out from under the crossbar and throw into Central Penn. Here's Bolton right back into action to Sofu down the left-hand side. Poked away by Christendom and knocked back to their keeper. Cleared up the midfield. Right to Vargas's feet. He controls it. Nice touch over to Bolton. Well, I tell you, Kyle Vargas is a ball player. He's a soccer player. Tremendous skill in the midfield. Looks like Bolton's still hurting. He's still limping out there. I'm not sure he should have gone right back in, but like I said, he's a competitor and he is a battler. I don't think there's a more emotional, harder working player out there. Jean-Philippe just got his foot stepped on. He's in a lot of pain, but he's okay. Thorpe takes that one hopper, brings it out towards the 18. He'll punt it up to middle field, hoping to get the ball to Sofu. Doesn't quite make it. Jordan Howe runs onto it. Sofu loses the ball. It's taken by number 11, Folkler. They've got a Folkler and a Folkler. And then they've got a coach named Folkler. Christendom's loaded with Folklers. That's a family affair. And they're all talented. Christendom coming forward about 4v8. Central Penn's a little bit on the fatigue side at this point, so they're back on defense. And the numbers don't look good for the Crusaders, but they are back and ready to go, and they are lined up against that flat defense, ready to break into space. I think that's kind of been the Achilles heel. So there's the 3 whistles. So this is Doug Fisher for the Professor Paul Miller and the entire Knights broadcasting team. I want to thank you for listening to our soccer broadcast this season, both the men's and the women's program. The men lose today by a score of 5-0, and we thank you for listening to our broadcast. We hope it's been enjoyable for you to be able to watch these teams. We thank you for another excellent season, and we congratulate not only the Christendom Crusaders, but Coach Wise and the entire Central Penn Knights men's soccer team for the season they had and the growth they experienced, and we look forward to bigger and better things a year from now. So for the Professor Paul Miller, this is Doug Fisher signing off from Adams-Ricci Park in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Take care now.